What is up, guys? Moses here. And this time I decided to make a video I've been talking about for a while, never really got the chance. And now we got the chance. So this is going to be a guide on the Syndicate League mechanic. And yes, I know it's a couple of leagues too late, but you know, it's never too late to make a nice, happy little guide for you guys. So there it is. So Syndicate, we get this board and it looks very confusing, but really it is not, okay? One thing I want you to take from this that is definitely very valuable to run Syndicate missions, and whenever you do see June, and that's how she looks like, the Syndicate symbol, that's how it looks like. Area contains June. Whenever you see June, you should be doing it, and you should be progressing with your Syndicate missions alongside. This should take priority. All right. All right. So let's get into it. Basically, what happens here? You receive intelligence for each encounter with Syndicate members. They randomly spawn. There's like 4 different kinds, as you see: transpo, fortification, research, and intervention. And you progress your safe house location. Once it reaches 100, you have perfect intel on the safe house location. You simply go and you raid that safe house, which is a separate zone. Over here you got Vorisi. He's the leader of research, for example. Right now we're at 99%, so we need just 1%, and then we can raid this safe house. Now you got several members over here, and basically each member gives you a different reward based on 2 things. One, where first and foremost, whatever safe house he's allocated to. For example, Haku right now is in transportation. If he were to be in fortification or research or intervention, the reward changes according to that. If you want to know exactly what rewards you're getting for each member, there's a nice website called PoE Lab that you probably know. I'm going to link it at the bottom. And PoE Lab over here has the cheat sheets where you can check all the different leagues cheat sheet, and one of them here is Syndicate cheat sheet, right? So you can check over here and you can see, you can rotate whichever it that fled, for example, Giannis, Jorgen, whoever Syndicate member that you want. You can check out and see on transportation what you're getting off of which member. All right, very simple. Second, is first one is where is that particular member allocated, which safe house, and second is which what rank that safe house that member has. And if you look at each one of the members, most of them all has stars, and when a member has stars, that means he's allocated to a safe house. When a member does not have stars, for example, it that fled right now, or Giannis, or Ashling, none of these guys have, or Hillock, none of these guys have any stars. So that means they don't have any ranks. If they don't have any ranks, that means right now they're free agents. And whenever there's an intervention, encounter, or research, or any one of the syndicate encounters, any one of the 4 encounters, they can spawn as free agents. All right. Now, what determines that? Basically, that's where the green lines come in. Sometimes there's red lines. What does that mean? Those are the interaction between the members, right? So this is kind of like what you need to learn and what you need to understand from this video. Essentially, the interactions between the different members mean that whenever, let's say, transportation mission spawns right now, and you see this little caravan, it kind of travels, you go in, maybe Guff will be there, maybe Haku will be there, because these are the current members. And then attached to Haku, you see Corel. See this little line? So that means Corel is friends with Haku, right? Green line means friendly. Um, um, if Guff spawns, he's attached to several members, to Rin, to Jorgen, Fled, Ashling, Giannis, right? There's like 5 different members that Guffy's friends with. What does that mean? That means that as friends, these members can spawn alongside with Guff because they try to help him, or vice versa. If they're rivals, they want to spawn there to do him harm. All right. So if there is any rivalry, if there is any friendship, that means that increases the chances for that member to spawn alongside a different member because there is some kind of interaction between them. Right. So the more interactions you have on the board, whether it's rivalry or friendships, the more interactions you have, the higher the chances are that more members will spawn on a syndicate instance spawn, right? And the more members you spawn, the more intelligence you can acquire, so that you can fill in that intelligence bar, so that you can raid the safe house with higher ranking members. All right, that's the general concept. And now, based on that, you got to decide what your safe house strategy, right? For me, I don't care too much about transportation and fortification. There's nothing there that I need. You guys can browse and see what kind of the different members. I'm not going to go into that, but I will tell you what is valuable to me. All right. Currently, I'm playing solo self-found in the Legion League, and for me, what's important is first I want to get white sockets. Right, so I want to get some white sockets on certain items because it makes it comfortable for me, such as here, this chest plate I found from Dapper Prodigy, 6 length, crafted it with fossils, and now it has 3 white sockets. The way I got white sockets is by Vorisi in research, right? So this is valuable to me. So what I made is, Vorisi as research as leader, and he will allow me to make white sockets on certain items, for example this staff or a different, because I'm playing solo self-found, it's comfortable for me to be able to mess around with gems, and I don't want to color the gems, so it makes sense for me to try and get Vorisi on research, to try and get white sockets on items, right? Another thing that's valuable for me is Chimeria on research or on intervention. Currently, I'm focusing on kind of like XP and leveling. I don't really care too much about, not XP and leveling, sorry, about elders. I want to farm Nebulock, right? So for me, right now, Chimeria obviously is great in intervention because it gives you those sulfite scarabs. Those are very valuable. You can sell them if it's a trade league. But for me, Chimeria right now gives sextants, and he's rank 3 over here, and he's going to drop a whole bunch of sextants when this is done. All right, Tora just happens to be here. I did not mean for her to be here. I kind of want her to be in intervention because she gives us harbinger scarabs, but sometimes you can't really control exactly who's going to be where, and sometimes things happen that you just can't exactly 100% control all in all cases. So Tora currently stuck in research. I wish she would be in intervention. Maybe next instance I'll have a chance to swap some members, bring someone here from a different safe house, and bring Tora to a different safe house. All right. And Jorgen is important to me because Jorgen creates talismans. Basically, with Jorgen, what you can do is you can take an amulet. In this case, there's an amulet that I crafted for a different character with life leech off of lightning damage, right? 0.4 lightning damage is leech's life, hybrid with lightning resist with tier 1 crit multi. I decided to multi-mod this. I figured that's worthwhile for me, along with area of effect and area damage, some life, and some damage while leeching. And I figured I can make Jorgen turn this coral amulet into a talisman. And as a talisman, tier 3 talisman, I can get a different implicit roll that could be increased global crit multi, increased spell damage, increased global physical damage, increased, global damage, like whatever. There are a lot quantity. There's a whole lot of physical damage is extra random damage of a random element. There's a whole lot of really cool implicit rolls that you can get off of talismans. This is, for example, is a talisman right here. This is from Jorgen. I found this amulet right here, and I had Jorgen previously on previous characters. It's talisman tier 3 with 16% increased attributes. Whenever Jorgen is on research. He can turn any rare amulet that you have into a talisman. This is something I found, chance to freeze, shock, ignite, whatever. This is just a unique talisman, and I believe these are all the examples because, again, SSF, I think this one is just like a really nice example because you see this is a temple amulet with life hybrid, with increased max life, some crit, multi-crit chance, and I crafted area of effect, area damage, and I went to Jorgen tier 3. So yeah, that's an example of just some of the things that you can get off of Syndicate, and that's really powerful. And for me, I'm playing the Caswell Channeling Trickster at the moment, but I have this just Jorgen on this previous character because I want to take advantage of this. I want to get him to rank 3, and we'll try and get him to rank 3. So yeah, that's basically the idea. What you basically need to know here is what members you want to wear, right? This is all scarabs. All of these guys, basically, pretty much some of them are not, but pretty much every member of the Syndicate, when he's in intervention, he's going to get you some sort of scarab, and there's a whole bunch of them, and they're really awesome. But in research, in transportation, in fortification, sometimes you want to increase quality of items. So transportation, fortification will help you to do that with like armor, with armor or flask. You can get increased flask quantity, quality, and so on and so forth. Like there's a whole lot of options. I really just urge you to go and check out PoE Lab, and under that cheat sheet you can see exactly which member gives you what on each one of the 4 safe houses. One thing to mention is I don't do it because it shuffles the entire thing and the reward is kind of underwhelming. When you get 100%, you can go and kill the mastermind. She drops Devouring Diadem. You can probably buy that helmet for like 1 chaos on Trade League. I personally am not using it, so I'm not opening this. It usually is required for an achievement. I just kind of figured, yeah. Spoiler alert, it's Katarina as the mastermind of the Syndicate. Now you know. But yeah, it shuffles the entire Syndicate, and basically they changed it. So essentially what happens when you get Katarina, when you open the safe house of the mastermind, what will happen is in the end you'll get chests or crafting tables that contain the loot of each one of the safe house leaders, right? So before you open the Syndicate, just make sure that the leaders are in the right places and that the leaders are as high rank as possible if you plan on opening this. There's also the flask. There's also crafting recipes that I find pretty useless, but some people find super OP, like +2 level of socketed support gems. She's the only one that can give you, right? +2 support gems. So I believe maybe there's a couple of other things that she drops, but essentially that's Katrina. I never do it except 1 time per league to get, the achievement. Encounters, that's trades with Kadiro, Legion, unique encounters. I don't know. It's one of them, deadly encounters. Mastermind at level 83. So we need to do this like 1 time. I'll probably do it eventually. It doesn't really matter. The fight is kind of boring. We need 2 achievements and we get that 36 in SSF, by the way, so it feels good. Anyways, that was it. Now let's get into a map here. I got this shipyard, and it also has guardian. So let's go and destroy, and I can just show you a little bit of the interactions that are happening. Hopefully we managed to spawn Jorgen. In the past couple of syndicates, like I just was never able to get him. Always like different members spawned. So yeah, I really don't care too much about the rest of the members. All I care about, or the rest of the safe houses, all I care about is trying to essentially not get any intel if he doesn't spawn is kind of awkward. So basically, I'm in a peculiar spot right now because I'm playing on a different character. I'm just doing because I want that amulet that I shown you. Okay, that's a desync. Because there's this amulet that I've shown you. Jorgen, please, please, yes. All right, we got it. +1 Jorgen. That is glorious. That's all I wanted, really. Varisi and Giannis. I guess we can move Giannis to research, and then Varisi. Shoot. Uh, hmm. Well, I guess I should have interrogated Giannis. That was kind of silly. Okay, okay. Let's continue. Oh no, I. Okay, the greed. So basically, Giannis is now an intervention, and that means whenever we have 100% intel, whenever we have 100% intel, I guess I should have stopped and explained this is a guide after all. Yeah, it was my bad. Anyways, okay, so we got essentially the execute option, +1 rank to Corel, right? When you execute them, it gives them rank. Increasing their rank means that they're going to increase the reward. So we're going to give +1 rank to Corel. And when there's only 2, +20 intervention. So you can either bargain or you can interrogate. Interrogating reduces the level, right, of the member. Currently it has 2 stars. Reducing the level means it's going to only have 1, and then he stays there for 3 turns, and then you get +7 per turn. So obviously 21 after 3 turn versus 20, and dropping, there's level. Obviously it's just better to bargain and get 20% more intelligence off of that. We had some options here, and then Jorgen now is finally level 3. I was just like really kind of anxious to do it because it's been kind of a few days that I've been chasing that rank 3 Jorgen, and I never really spawned him. I spawned like different members and Torah and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of RNG, right? So you have to try and hope to get the right options. I finally got it, so I insta-clicked it because I really wanted that Jorgen implicit on the amulet, right? So one thing that happens also I never even mentioned is veiled mods, right? So when you drop when you kill these guys, they will drop some veiled mods. Eventually, you'll have enough veiled mods. The way to check it, you have Val Pact while full. Okay, so this is a mod that I don't have. You need several level or several stages to unlock it. Now, I want to show something here real quickly. Most of the times, like especially a month and a half into the league, like most of the things are already going to be discovered. But there's a couple of amulet mods that I still haven't unlocked. So yeah, check this out, guys. This will be a nice little tip for you. So if you go to the crafting bench right here with the veiled mods, when you scroll all the way down, you'll start seeing the gray unlocked mods. All right, and these are all the unlocked mods that you have, and you see which kind of mods are there. Unveiling certain body armor. Above that, there's a chest icon, right? So if this is the body armor chest icon, and above that there's a chest body icon. Over here we got the rings, right? So rings, this is something that I still want, right? Because it has chaos and physical damage increase right now, and this is something that I want to have. Okay, so what happens here is there's a couple of amulet rings belts veiled mods that I still want to have, and that's the reason why I haven't removed them from my loot filter. Okay, so this is the big tip that I'm going to give you. These items, keeping and continuing to unveil them cost a lot of time, and eventually you'll unlock most, or the majority of the things that you really need for yourselves, right? Because like, what kind of mods do you need? Increased life, increased mana, flat mana, life hybrid, stuff like that. Damage while leeching, fizz conversion to elements, and all that kind of stuff. Eventually you unlock it, usually about a week and a half into the league, and then you kind of have to take stock of the stuff that you have already unlocked and that you haven't. And then you gotta remove the veiled mod across the board. For example, I will never see veiled chest body armors unless they have 6 sockets, because that overrules, because 6 sockets is 7 jewelers. But essentially, veiled body armors are not going to clutter up my screen, and I'm only focused right now on the veiled mods that I want, which is essentially, you know, rings. There's a couple of stuff on rings that I still want, on amulets and belts, right? But you know, the rest of the things I'm not, I don't really need, so I removed. Okay, so by doing basically by checking what's down here at the very bottom of the list, the stuff that you haven't unlocked, you kind of like see what kind of items you still need, what kind of items you still, you know. So level of support gems, that's from Katrina, whatever. The rest of the stuff I just don't need, and I think I pretty much made that point clear. And yeah, so we can go back to the map. Let's take a look. So we did intervention. So for the most part, maps will have 3 instances. I'm not going to open the Legion because we're not focused on that in this video. So for the most part, maps will have 3 encounters of Syndicate when it does spawn. But sometimes there's only 2, sometimes there's only 1. And when you have 100% completion, see there is, okay, so there is transportation over here, and basically my goal is to try and through this somehow perhaps get, okay, so Giannis is here. Okay, let's kill the bosses. Oh wait, it's a yeah. Alright, okay. So this is a nice opportunity for me here because, okay, so this is a situation where Giannis, right here, is friends with Guff, right? So I can either level up Giannis or... Okay, so now we have 3 members. So usually the interesting stuff happens when you only have the 1 or 2 members left. When you have 3, it's always going to be, you know, either imprison or execute. When you have 3 or more members, right now we have Aisling, Guff, and Giannis. All right, so I'm going to try and see, you know, just randomly interrogate Guff and try to see between the options of the 2 members that are left if I can somehow get intelligence for this safe house right here. Apparently no, because there's, I don't know, apparently there's no interaction between Giannis and yeah. Sometimes you can get intelligence to fill up the information bar for, you know, a certain safe house, because sometimes there's a certain interaction between the 2 members. If there's like sometimes rivalry or whatever, you can get intelligence even if we just spawned a transportation instance, right? This was transportation instance. You can sometimes get you know, intelligence for research by doing a transportation. Sometimes there's interaction between the safe houses like this. This time we didn't have it, so I guess we just want to level up Giannis, so we will have a pretty juicy you know, research safe house once it does spawn, and we just need the 1%. I was kind of really hoping to show you, and maybe, yeah, it's only +4 transportation intelligence, and I mean, sure, we'll get that +4, and we still don't have that one. We need the 1% intelligence to be able to get you know, to be able to open up the safe house. So basically, once you get that 100%, you can go, you can open up the safe house, you raid the safe house, you'll see all the things. You'll have some chests from Chimera containing sextants. You'll have 2 crafting tables that can modify, you know, 2 different sockets for items. Torah, exposing gems to combat, basically will give experience to gems. Level 3 means a lot of experience to gems. Level 3 obviously is the talismans, and Giannis gives us some Kadiro spawn and some Kadiro Perendus coins. And yeah, that was basically it. This was basically Syndicate. Play around with it, try and figure out which members you want. The obvious ones are It That Fled, Empowers, Breachstones, if he's in research. I wasn't able to do that. You know, Chimera and Intervention. Pretty much everybody in Intervention gives you those scarabs. Those are very valuable, but mostly Chimera. And yeah, I believe I said all there is to say. Of course, you can always drop by to the stream and feel free to ask me each and every and all questions that you have about it. I'll be glad to explain to you. I'm live all the time. And yeah, Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.